Okay, so um, I was talking to my best friend Sarah today, which she might be watching. Hi, Sarah. Um, I don't think she would mind if I share this little story. Um, by the way, Sarah's awesome. She was the best man at my wedding, and um, she was the one that I called when I was like at 11:30 at night, like, oh my God, I think it might be a boy, and she was like, it's okay, chill. So anyway, all this time later, and she's really been a huge support, and she's awesome. Anyway, I was talking to her today about this weird this weird thing that happened to her over the weekend. She lives in New York and was going home on the train from a friend's house, and she was telling me about this creeper she ran into on the train, this like drunken asshole who was, and not like some homeless guy, just some guy, like drunk off his ass, sitting across from her on the train and like just spouting all these really nasty things at her, and really vulgar, inappropriate language, and like it just the way she described it to me, it just sounded like a really scary experience. And the guy basically just kept spouting shit at her until she was able to leave the train car and go to the next car. And she was telling me how she switched to the next car and, felt a little better. There was a group of women there. But then that group of women left and it was all men on the train again, with the exception of herself. And that she felt nervous and unsafe again because she, again, was the only female on the train, apparently, or on that train car. And she had to kind of hide herself down and zip up her jacket and be more anxious about it. And it just made me really sad and angry to hear her talk about that and to hear her really shaken up by, by this. Rightfully so. I would be too if I were in her situation. And it just made me think about, like, I've noticed the difference that, I don't get shit anymore from straight cis guys on the street. I don't get, now that I pass as a guy 90% of the time, at least in passing on the street, from a distance, I don't get cat calls and, hey baby, you want to suck my dick? And I don't get that kind of bullshit anymore. I used to, when I used to look like a girl, I got that all the time. And, and I'll admit it, I was noticing the difference, but I kind of forgot a little bit, how much that used to fucking get to me and how often I used to deal with it. And, and I was dressing in jeans and t-shirts, you know what I mean? So I just, it upsets me that for someone to get on a train late at night, they have to worry more just because they happen to be presenting as female. And, we were discussing, I was telling her how I don't really get shit like that anymore. I don't get catcalled like that anymore. And she was really expressing to me how she's really jealous of that, Like, I wish I could look like a boy sometimes to not get shit. And I don't know. It just overall is really unfair. And, that's why I still identify as a feminist, because, I mean, I've been there. I've lived it. I've seen firsthand what it feels like to be treated like shit, or, to be objectified, simply because I'm seen as female. I know what it's like to be talked down to, like, oh, like I don't know what I'm doing, and I need to be educated on something that I don't. Or, you know, just generally treated as lesser or less important, or an object to be stared at simply because I'm seen as female. And I find it complete bullshit. I mean, I find the entire notion of gender a lot of times to be bullshit. So the fact that a group of people, a group of human beings, are treated in this day and age so terribly on that basis alone, it drives me crazy. But, yeah, that just male privilege, walking down the street and not having to worry, not having to, you know, feel in your pocket and make sure you have your pepper spray on you. You know, that's unfair. But yeah, and I mean, on another token, I do still get shit for being seen as a gay man. And I'm gonna make another video with Al about that. But even still, you know, I still have to deal with less shit than the average woman walking down the street at night. And that upsets me. And I hope that I can do some small part to change that. So, yeah, I just wanted to get that out.